Well, good afternoon. This is Wayne Albright, and another installment of Let's Discuss Weather. It's Thursday, December 11th, and let me get my map here set up. So, anyway, we are going to talk about the weather from Friday, that's tomorrow, through the middle of next week, and even mention into the Christmas week as well. So, there are some changes coming in the overall pattern. It's been cold, as many of us know, in the eastern part of the United States this entire month so far. We are at the 11th of December, so it's been much below normal. And that will continue for many areas through the weekend and then change after that. So let's go to what's happening this afternoon. We have dry weather from southern and southeastern Pennsylvania down coastal plain of North Carolina, South Carolina, west-northwest winds. We do see the typical northwest wind off the lakes, scattered numerous snow showers, western Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania down to North Carolina. Probably, if I looked at a camera, snowshoe mountain is probably snowing in West Virginia. And then you have the next system already starting to head to the southeast out of North and South Dakota, over across Iowa and into Illinois. And that will continue to the southeast, and there are already winter weather headlines from the Weather Service out for tonight into Friday. Even winter storm warnings out in portions of Kentucky and Indiana. So if we look at the weather going forward, we will see the weather pattern evolve here. This is the American model. I do have a bit of a cold, I'm sorry. I've been fighting it all day. But anyway, we see our system that's on the map right now, heading out of Iowa down toward Kentucky this evening, spreads to the east across West Virginia late tonight, and into Friday morning reaches the eastern areas or central areas of Virginia. Some light precipitation. It is a weakening system. This is not anything like the system earlier this week, so people in central Virginia should not have to panic too much. There may be some flurries or a touch of light snow at times on Friday, but it'll remain dry in the low levels, and not much precipitation will make it over the mountains. It'll be a primary accumulating system from the western part of Virginia through the mountains into Kentucky, where it will be ending Friday morning. But east of the mountains, not expecting much of anything. There is one model that is has a little more oomph to it. I usually discard that model. Haven't looked at it in a few years. So, but I usually go with the consensus, and the consensus is that there's not much precipitation coming across the mountains. So it's a weakening system, not a lot of support for it, and going into high pressure east of the mountains with drier air east of the mountains, which will limit the precipitation from reaching the ground. So once we get past that, it dries out, clears out a little bit Friday night. We already have another system in the never-ending, it seems, this month of clippers type systems coming from the northwest. We've had a couple gather precipitation from the southern branch, but the southern branch, there isn't much there right now. So this is mainly going to be a northern branch feature over the weekend through Sunday. But the Arctic cold front stretches from the low down to the lakes and then back to the northwest toward Montana. And that cold front will be approaching from the northwest Saturday night and then settle to the southeast or push to the southeast on Sunday, ushering in very cold air on northwest winds that will be gusty. So it's going to turn much colder after a little bit of moderation on Saturday. It's going to turn a little bit colder, or quite a bit colder, I should say, on Sunday into Monday. So, but there is an increased probability now, a little bit better consensus from late Saturday night, at least into midday Sunday, of accumulating snow from about D.C. or just southwest of D.C. up into southern New England, as there is a little reflection of low pressure off the coast, mid-Atlantic coast. Europeans a little stronger with it, but there definitely is a little bit of forcing and a little bit of enhancement of upward motion, frontogenesis going on that leads to this. So the models are coming a little closer together, and it looks like increasing confidence that there will be some sort of band of accumulating snow. It's not going to be, 6, 10, 12 inches, but there could be a couple inches, a few inches in one or two spots on that time frame, late Saturday night and through midday on Sunday. And I wouldn't rule out snow showers with the front coming down through central southern Virginia, southeast Virginia, even into North Carolina, which could provide a dusting or a light, very light accumulation. But it's an Arctic cold front. I wouldn't rule that out at this time. And then the cold air floods in on Monday, or Sunday night and Monday. And when you wake up Monday morning, it's going to be very cold with wind chills quite a bit low, down in the teens and 20s in all of the area. And the high builds east. There'll be some scattered stuff that lingers, scattered snow showers, typical stuff like it is today, in the lakes, into the mountains of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, New York. The rest of the area should be dry on Monday. And we finally start to break the pattern with high pressure not building to the north of our area, like we've had a lot of that happening, keeping the cold air in place. We actually have high pressure building to the south-southeast of the area, and the return flow of south-southwest, and leading to milder weather. And we can see that with the overall weather pattern that's changing. We're going to be changing from a strong west or a northwest flow that the air is originating from up in Siberia and across Alaska into western Canada, and then comes plunging into the eastern part of the United States, to a more zonal pattern with a compact polar vortex, a strong jet across the United States. So if you're flying later next week into Christmas week, you're going to make some good time west to east, because there's a strong jet coming from west to east across the country. And when this happens, the flooding of mild air occurs across the United States, and all the ensembles in the extended are featuring that, going from cold on Monday to this on Friday. There is a little bit of a boundary that lingers just to the north of the immediate area of concern that I'm dealing with, from southern Pennsylvania to North Carolina, which may dabble a little bit, especially in the north, across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland. At times it may wobble back and forth, north and south, and a couple episodes, a cooler day, then a warmer day. I think farther south you go, the better chance it just stays on the warmer side. But you can see this continues on the ensemble into Christmas week, and that's Christmas right there, or Christmas Eve, while the very cold air gets bottled up in Canada, especially Western Canada. So confidence is pretty high that a warm-up and a weather pattern change is coming. So let's go back to okay, let me show you the roller coaster. Okay, I'm going to show the roller coaster here. Here's Richmond, Virginia temperatures. You can see the cold, really cold Sunday and Monday, probably the coldest period on average we've had this month. It's going to feel it big time with that wind blowing, especially Sunday afternoon, Sunday night, and early Monday. The gusty winds continue Monday morning, or Monday at the coast especially. And then the moderating trend begins. Whether we have 70s or not, I mean, it's outside 5 to 7 days. So I bet you it waffles back and forth as we go forward. And you can see what I was talking about. There's an episode of warmer, then a little dabble with cooler, and then a warmer. And this is in Virginia. If we go up to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, you can see the same trend. It warms, and then there's a waffling of the front, or any front to the south, brings a little bit of cooler, and then it warms up, and then it tries to do it again. But the really cold stuff will end early next week. So let's go forward with snowfall potential here. We'll go with the GFS. This is through tomorrow. Not much, as I said before. I'm not expecting much at all east of the mountains. And the farther west you go, maybe there's out toward the I-81 corridor, maybe there's an inch or so, or back toward the mountains. And then we go to Sunday. This is Sunday morning, and you can see that what I'm talking about. There's the GFS with the axis of snow from just southwest of Washington, D.C., up toward New York City. If I go to the European, it's basically showing the same thing, a little bit farther north, but it's generally in that area. The Icon model generally has the same thing. We'll go with the, let's try another one. I feel like trying another one here. Let's go to the NWS blend of models, which I'm very familiar with. And you can see that it's generally there also with a 1 to maybe 3 inch band of snow. So increased confidence here. We can see if there's any impacts. Let's see here. Let's go to the impacts. Let's go to Sterling, Virginia, National Weather Service, and the Weather Service impacts. And you can see that they're highlighting minor impacts in that corridor right now for the day on Sunday along the I-95 corridor. So if you're traveling in that area on Sunday, be aware of that possibility. And I think the threat is increasing for a light accumulation. What I call light is, 1 to 3 inches, maybe a 4-inch somewhere, but 1 to 3 inch snowfall. The big thing will be, does the wind blow and blow it around a little bit? So, which would add to it a little bit of impact also. But that's where it generally looks like. And if we go to Wakefield's, it has a little bit of potential down into central Virginia. I think that could be even down into southeast Virginia and possibly northern North Carolina if those snow showers do develop as the cold air comes in. But right now, it's closer to the north as this is depicted. But I would be worried on Sunday for those traveling. The farther north you go on 95, the more likely you're going to have inclement weather. The farther south you go and then down into South Carolina and toward Georgia, you would have no winter weather concerns whatsoever. So I think that's about it. I do want to point out that it's probably been a while since I've stated this, but let me unhide this slide. The primary focus of these weather briefings is from central Virginia to southeastern, or central Pennsylvania to southeastern Virginia. It's weather discussion, generic forecasts and impacts for the short term, 1 to 3 days, and out to 7 days in the long term. Today I dabbled into the beginnings of the Christmas week, but that won't be a very common thing. I may mention it a couple times or once in a while. This will not be a climate change forum. Not interested in that debate whatsoever. And I do want to advise that you need to consult local National Weather Service offices and local media for real-time or near real-time weather and local headlines, watches, warnings, and advisories. That's not what I'm getting into this with. This is more about science and weather impacts that could be coming up. I'm not going to sit here and highlight and go over the headlines that are out and nitpick every one of them. I'll mention them, but I'm not going to go into that. Whether it's winter weather, severe weather, fire weather, no. It's basically the science and the weather part of it, not the headlines. That's their job. I did it for over 30 years, so I'm well aware of what it takes to do that, and I will let them do their job. So we go to the highlights here and close in this conversation. For tonight and Friday, increasing clouds, and there'll be a touch of light snow or flurries late tonight and into midnight or midday on Friday, it looks like, and I need to change this to tonight. And primary central western Virginia away from the coast. I'm not ruling out a dusting to the I-95 corridor, but I think it's not very likely. Up to an inch to the higher terrain west of there. Then clearing Friday night. Saturday becomes mostly cloudy. And a touch, not seasonable, but it's going to be a chilly day, but not not too cold. Mid 30s north, mid to upper 30s north, mid 40s to near 50 the farther south you go. The prime time, or the prime concern, is late Saturday night and Sunday when the Arctic cold front crosses the region, mostly cloudy, turning windy and breezy from north to south. There are now increasing chances of a period of accumulating snow from near DC on northeast to southern New England. How much snow? Still a little too early, but I'll put a map out here as a first attempt. And then some scattered to numerous snow showers, central Virginia to North Carolina, northeast North Carolina, with falling temperatures in the afternoon on Sunday. And that leads to Monday, or Sunday night and Monday, where it's very cold, gusty winds, especially Sunday night. And the gusty winds linger across the north of this area and at the coast. And the typical snow showers in the mountains, and partly sunny to the south. And highs really cold in the 20s north, 30s south, wind chills in the teens north and 20s south. So it's going to be a cold day on Monday. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, partly cloudy. We'll start cold Tuesday, but then we'll begin the moderating trend in the afternoon. And by Wednesday, our highs will be ticking up to the upper 30s, low 40s in the north, and the 40s to low 50s in the south. And I add here in red, how about some upper 40s in southern Pennsylvania and lower 60s in southern Virginia to North Carolina next Thursday? That'll feel nice if we can get that, and I think we will have a great shot at that by next Thursday. And I still want to highlight the pattern will change. The cold pattern will be relaxing late next week and next weekend and last Christmas week, it looks like. And even rain in the forecast chances. I think they're mainly to the north over northern portions and western portions, Pennsylvania, maybe Maryland, West Virginia. But there's, could there be a late snow event? I don't know. With the front waffling back and forth, I guess, but I think the primary precipitation would be of the liquid variety. And any chances late next week into the following week of Christmas week look like they're going to be generally low, regardless. So, and lastly, I will put up the map. This is my first guess at it. 1 to 3 inches in the corridor that I've been talking about near Washington, D.C. onto the northeast, and less than an inch elsewhere down into northeast North Carolina. Like I said, I'm not really enthused about that part, but there could be. I've seen many Arctic cold fronts come through with a dusting of snow, so all the way down in central Virginia and North Carolina, would not rule it out. So that's what it's looking like, and if there's any changes coming up, I will get on and try to highlight them. But right now, this is what it's looking like. A little better chance of snow Sunday, or late Saturday night, Sunday, in this corridor that I'm highlighted in pinkish red, I guess. And just be alert to the cold air coming. And then we finally get a reprieve the middle of next week until the Christmas week. So here's my winter weather outlook, and I've notched it up a little bit from the I'm concerned to, well, let's really look at it by Sunday, especially in the corridor from DC to the northeast along 90 in the vicinity of I-95. So after that, that's all for today. And like I said, if there's any changes that I see, I will try to get on and highlight them. But right now, this looks like it's about the best course of action. So have a good rest of the day, and stay warm, stay safe, and I will talk to you next time.